Hi, and welcome back to the Save It for Parts channel. Today we're doing a video that's been requested by a number of people, a surface tour of Sandland. If you've seen my Sandland videos, you've noticed we're usually building something silly like a geodesic dome or digging tunnels underground. But there's a lot more to Sandland on the surface: roads, trails, back areas, just interesting spots that don't get shown a lot in my videos. So I'm out here today. It's a pretty nice spring day. I figured why not take the chance to bike around. I've got my Growler e-bike here that we just got, and I do have helmet hair. I actually took the helmet off and put it on a stick to film this, so we're filming most of this video with the GoPro. Hopefully it'll come out okay. I might have to do some voiceover later if there's a lot of wind noise. And this video is sponsored by Birch e-bikes, who sent me their Growler model. This thing is a really cool off-road hunting e-bike with dual wheel power, dual motors. I've done a whole review video on this, so if you want to learn more about it, I will put links to that down in the description as well as up above here, so you can check that out for yourself. But that will be our main transportation around Sandland for the day. So I started up at the entrance there. We've come down the driveway and we are here at the message board or bulletin board. I actually made this out of stuff I found in a dumpster at work, so we could have a little message center and we could have our waivers, because the owner of Sandland, when you come out here to volunteer, he does get you to sign a waiver. Fortunately, we have not had any major injuries here at Sandland, but it is always a possibility when you're at an off-grid property doing projects, DIY projects, tunneling, things like that. And in addition to the waiver, we just have some entertaining stuff on the bulletin board. We have a little map of Sandland that my friend Alex put together. We've got some other Sandland paraphernalia. There's a video game. There's a digging contest going on where you can win some prizes. We have another map of the site so you can kind of see how it's laid out. I know the sun shading here is a little weird, so it might not be the most visible. So turning around from the bulletin board, we have the parking lot and the monorail. So the monorail has shown up in quite a few of my videos. We got this from the old Minnesota Zoo. They used to have this monorail circling the property, and they decided it wasn't cost effective anymore, so they shut it all down, and I bought one of the trains. So I brought an entire 6-car monorail train out here to Sandland. We kind of split it up a little bit so different people use different cars as their little weekend cabins or hangout spots or just storage. It's kind of a really fun spot to just hang out. We've got that deck in front. We can set up a barbecue and grill up there. It's really fun. We have another shed over here for just general storage. Like I said, that's the driveway in. There's a porta potty. And then this road goes down the hill to the dig site. We'll get to that in a minute, but first, let's circle around our trail up here to the upper part and show you what's behind the monorail. This bike is a load of fun and it's really powerful, but it is super heavy, so I will not be trying to get it up those stairs. We're gonna take the long way around the back. So here we are up behind the monorail, and I realize it's a little bit messy. Everything looks messier in the spring. The snow goes away, all of your winter sins show up, all of the junk shows up. So we have a bunch of projects in progress. We have a bunch of things that we're still working on. But yeah, this is kind of the monorail field area. And back when the property first started, this is where we would camp before we had the monorail. We've got a nice little fire pit here. We have some picnic tables. There's a water tower over there with kind of a hand washing station. Yeah, we do have a number of these trail cameras for security, and the wind keeps blowing the antennas down. They still work with the antenna down, it just looks silly. So yeah, we have a couple more little structures, storage areas, camper, and then some more trails that go back into the woods here. I came up the long way through there. Maybe I'll show you where the rest of that trail goes in a minute. Yeah, lots of projects going on here. The monorail has started growing some moss on the outside. It's been here for a number of years now, so I should come in and try to clean this at some point. Over here, we have the back of the storage shed. We have some former Save It for Parts projects, which are kind of just out here. I need to do more things with these. I've got the potato cannon. We've actually got another potato cannon on the deck there. Yeah, the monorail is a very nice place to hang out. We've got the first car set up as kind of a little museum, and we've got this nice deck. I can give you a quick tour in here, although I have not done my spring cleaning, so there could be mice, there could be raccoons in here. It's always a little messy in the spring. Again, projects in process. Yeah, the monorail is just kind of a fun little spot, but it does tend to attract critters. So yeah, we've got our kind of displays here of monorail history, both local and worldwide. I've got all kinds of stuff from monorails around the world that I've collected, so kind of a fun little museum area. Of course, we have to have a Simpsons reference. It would not be a monorail without a possum named Bitey. And then this next car is kind of my camping area, so this one has a bunch of my junk in here, telescopes, camping gear, random stuff, and then a kind of a sleeping platform area, and some more storage underneath that. So past the tool shed, the wood shed over here was one of the first structures that I built out at Sandland. Yeah, there's some trees and junk down on the trail to it, and it's honestly not that exciting. It's full of junk right now. It's always been full of junk. So spare parts, pipes, wood, projects that we're working on, just like everything else around here. Sandland is kind of always an ongoing project. Like any off-grid property, there were always chores to do. There are always repairs to do. There are always new things being built, old things being modified. So the work out here is pretty much never ending. So sometimes when I come out here, I don't even dig because I'm so busy on surface projects. The main purpose of Sandland is the underground tunnels, which we will get to in a minute. But yeah, there are a ton of other things going on. So you'll see some of that in the rest of the video. So this is kind of another camping area. We have a fire pit and a clearing. It's a little messy again, spring, like I said. This is kind of the back corner of the property. We got another trail camera over there. And then this bluff kind of drops off down into the ravine where the tunnels are. Yeah, another picnic table. We got a bunch of these from a closed Burger King, and you'll see some other Burger King stuff along the way later. Yeah, so the bluff kind of drops steeply down here. You might be able to see way down there, there's kind of a green building, and that's where the tunnels are. And Carl has actually been putting in some stairs to get from this area down to the tunnels. So yeah, very nice stairway, all treated lumber, so it should last a long time. I won't go down the full thing here because it's kind of a it's a big trip to go all the way down to the bottom and back up, but you can kind of see where the trail goes down below. And then up at the top of the trail, up in the very nice forest area here, we have kind of a little memorial bench and a little lookout post. And it's got a really nice view out over the valley. All right, let's get back on the trail and we'll show you the other side of Sandland. Maybe that sounded more ominous than it should have. I just mean the other side of the valley. So now we're at the upper field, and there is a lot going on here. As we came in to the upper field, you may have seen this pile of very colorful tubes. That is the Burger King Playland that we picked up from the abandoned Burger King, and that's in a prior video. That has been started. We have started trying to rebuild it out here, but it is going very slowly. So that is an ongoing project. Over here, we have kind of a water catchment and rain barrel storage shed screen porch situation. And then there's an orchard over there, which doesn't look like much right now because everything's still brown, but we've got fruit trees in there. The water catchment system has some automatic watering set up for that. We do have more of a camping area up here, so we've got another little fire ring and kind of some nice flat spots, and of course the geodesic dome in the back. We have the radar dome that we picked up from Canada a year ago, 2 years ago. It's been a little while now, but we've gotten that mostly assembled. We're still working on that. Again, there are more videos of the geodesic radar dome. We have Carl's trampoline collection that he keeps finding for free on Craigslist. Yeah, again, we're in the middle of a million projects, and there are a ton of volunteers out here. Everybody's doing different things, so I think JT is doing some more garden work here, doing some water barrel maintenance, doing some maintenance on the water collection structure, which I'm kind of underneath right now. I almost missed Carl's treehouse, which is not so much of a treehouse anymore because it's sitting on the ground now. I've got a video of us lowering this. I might show that. I might do another video on that. This treehouse used to be suspended up in the trees. It was actually suspended between the two big trees here, and there were some issues. The critters got in and ate some of the siding, got into the walls, ate some of the insulation. So, and it was really hard to maintain up there in the tree. So they've lowered it down to the ground. It's a little easier to do the siding, fix the insulation, fix all the critter damage. So that's another, as I've said over and over in this video, ongoing project. Starting from the tree house is the Sandland zip line. If you can make it out here, I know this is a wide angle. The whole video is going to be a wide angle shot. So hopefully you don't miss some of the details I'm pointing out. So this zip line basically goes across the ravine back over towards where we were at the end of the other trail. It's a little brushy. We still need to clean it up a little bit, and it's gotten a little loose. I think the tree at the other end, it needs to be fixed basically. So we're not actually using the zip line. More of Carl's stairs going down this side of the valley, again down towards the tunnels. Yeah, we've got a lot of trash around. We're still, there's always cleanup. There is always stuff that needs to be mucked out, cleaned up, burned, thrown away. That's just what happens when you have an off-grid property, or anywhere out in the country really. You're always saving stuff for parts, and I grew up out in the countryside. That's how I grew up, saving things for parts, because you never quite want to throw away an old board or an old cinder block. You might be able to use it for something. I'll show you the dome quickly. I was up here last week doing a solar panel system for that, so that's a different video. This is more of the Burger King setup. We were kind of using that as a crane to assemble this, and yeah, I can just take a peek inside here. The audio in here is really weird, I have to warn you, so it's going to sound very strange. Yeah, so here we are in the geodesic dome, and this is where the wide angle is nice because it's hard to capture all this on a regular camera. It's just, the shape is weird, the audio is weird. If you stand right in the center, it's just a sound reflection from every angle, so probably sounds terrible. And again, the dome is something that you can see in many other videos. You can see us picking it up from Canada. You can see us assembling it out here. And yes, we do have spare parts for the dome. I think we got like 1.9 domes worth of parts. So I might be able to do another one, but we'll have to talk our friends into helping with that because it's a big job to put that up. Here's more of the Burger King stuff. So this is an entire Burger King playland. This was one of the big ones. This was from a closed down Burger King out here in rural Wisconsin that, yeah, this stuff showed up on Craigslist. They said it's all free, just come and get it, take it apart. And like I said, that is an entire video of its own. You can watch us disassemble this and move it out over the course of about 3 days. So here we are at the main attraction of Sandland, the underground tunnels, which I probably won't show you in this video because this is supposed to be a surface tour. So you'll have to look at some of my other videos to see the underground areas. We have a main storage shed for tools and wagons and whatnot. We've got more picnic benches. We love picnic benches. It's always fun to just hang out here and eat lunch and whatnot. We have the original tunnel entrance down here. So that was what we started with. And then this was the second entrance, so that is an inclined tunnel, and that goes steeply down into the main underground section. And then over here is the third addit, and this one is kind of where we're working at the moment, pulling the sand out. So you can see our tailings pile or spoil pile here. So this is basically where all the action is happening at the moment, and all of these tunnels connect underground. So each of these entrances goes into the same tunnel system. They just kind of go in at different points on the hillside. And that helps with cross ventilation. A lot of people ask about the air quality at Sandland, and I have actually done a full video on air quality when digging an underground tunnel system like this. I've done multiple videos on safety. Everybody asks, will it collapse? They see that it's a sandstone mine and they think that means, oh, it's soft sand. Well, yeah, it's soft sand after you smash it out. The end product is sand, but the actual rock itself, the sandstone, this is solid rock. This is like, I can hit this with a hammer right now and you'd get a few grains coming off. We actually need electric chisels, like super powerful electric chisels, to cut out the tunnel like this. So it is absolutely not just sand. It is very stable. There are tunnels like this that are 100 years old in this area or more. There are natural caves in sandstone that are thousands of years old, and they've stayed stable pretty much indefinitely. As long as you arch the ceiling like this and you don't run a bunch of water through it, it stays perfectly stable. What else do we have down here? We have a little shooting range. Somebody accused me in the comments of not being Second Amendment friendly. Guys, I built a shooting range. I don't show that stuff on YouTube so much because the YouTube algorithm doesn't like pew-pew things, but I've got some of that on Patreon, so if you want to see me refurbishing stuff like that, using old stuff like that, maybe out here at the range, then check out my Patreon page, and we might do some more of that in the future if it's popular. I kind of glossed over the second addit. We'll run up there for a second because there's some interesting stuff up there. Okay, so the second addit is kind of an incline, meaning it goes down at an angle, and you can see that in a bunch of my other videos. Basically, there's a winch up here that pulls out little train cars of sand up onto the tracks here, and then there's a winch and pulley system that kind of goes across the valley. So when we're pulling sand out of here, we can take it across and dump it, and then we can scoop it up with the tractor, take it up the hill. This is the bottom of one of Carl's stairs that I showed coming down from the treehouse. And, you know, we can run up here quick because this is kind of fun. Yeah, these stairs are a lot of fun, but it is a workout. Sandland is kind of the only exercise I get during the week, coming out here and just running around the property. I mean, you can kind of see here, this whole property is ups and downs. It's hillsides, valleys, and I'm getting out of breath already, but yeah, we've got kind of these trails up along the hillside and more stairs. Now, Carl has built most of these, although this little boardwalk system here is another project that's in progress, and another couple volunteers are building this boardwalk. I really like it. This looks like stuff that we had back in Alaska in little coastal villages where there wasn't much flat ground. Anyway, just like everything else you've seen in this tour, the boardwalk is halfway done and will be probably finished later this year as we have more time and the volunteers have more time to put that together. There are some more trails and kind of old logging roads a little further up the hill. In the when I did the review on the Birch Growler bike, I biked down one of those foot trails and crashed a few times, so if you want to see that, go check out that video. Like I said, I'll link it down below. Is yet another set of stairs going down to what I call the dance floor. Kyle has put this together. You've seen Kyle in a few of my videos. He's put this together as kind of another spot to set up a tent and just have a nice little spot to hang out when he's here. And this has a great view out over the tunnel area and the bottom part of the ravine. So yeah, again, not a lot of flat ground out here. So just like towns and villages in rural Alaska, in coastal areas, in steep mountainous areas, you kind of have to make your own flat ground, which some folks are doing with things like the dance floor. People sometimes ask if we have water available out here. This is a ravine, which is kind of a seasonal trickle. When all of the snow melts in the spring, a little bit of water comes down here. and goes down there, but there's not any reliable water source. There is not a flowing stream, no springs. We basically don't have water out here other than rain catchment and that very occasional seasonal wash. All right, I think that is about it for the Sandland tour. We have seen the upper field, we've seen down below here, we've seen the lookout spot on the top of the other hillside, we've seen the monorail, and yeah, that is most of the above ground highlights. So thank you again to Birch Bikes for sponsoring this video and the review video. This Birch Growler has been fantastic. As I said before, there are hills, there are steep parts all over Sandland, and I hate walking up that hill. That road back there, that's another old logging road. It is steep, it is rocky, it sucks. I won't even drive my car down it, but this e-bike gets up there just fine with the 2 powered wheels, so that thing is fantastic, and it really saves me from having to do any exercise walking up the hill, especially if I'm carrying stuff. So thank you again to Birch for sending me the bike, and again, I will put some links to them down in the description if you're interested. I have nothing bad to say about this bike. I have crashed it, I have abused it out here, we have driven over sharp rocks, sticks, up and down cliffs. Maybe not cliffs, but we've put it through a lot out here at Sandland, and it has really taken it well. So I would say I recommend the Birch Growler e-bike, not just because they sent me one, but because it is actually a very useful tool at this off-grid property and this steep land that we have. And I'll show you what that looks like driving up the steep hill here with the e-bike. I've been filming for at least an hour here. The actual video is going to be much shorter because we'll edit it down, but the bike still says it's at 100% power. That's after driving all around Sandland. I know that's probably not 100% accurate, but it definitely still has enough juice to get around. Even the GoPro is starting to run out of juice, so the GoPro battery has almost died, but the bike is doing just great. So that's all we've got for this one. You can check out other Sandland videos. I will link some down in the description if you're interested in the tunnels, in how we built some of the stuff out here, and in some of our other ongoing projects. If you'd like to support silly projects like monorails and geodesic domes, you can head over to my Patreon. And again, I have some exclusive content over there, as well as usually showing off all my videos a week early. So that is a great way to support the channel and get a sneak peek at what's coming next. Thank you to everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.